Hello everybody, Johnny here. Today I'd like to show you one little trick that I somehow revealed, don't know how, but I've been playing in Photoshop with it and it looks really great. But what this trick is about. I'm shooting HDR, I'm doing it a lot, and I was shooting another sunrise in Prague. Really nice. If you haven't tried shooting sunrise, try it. Gives you a really different light in comparison with sunset, and I like it more. Streets are even calmer. It's a little bit nicer. You have to get up early, but so what? Okay, so this is the overexposed image. I was going for details in this logs and lower part because it was really dark here. Then this is the middle exposure again for the bridge and the middle part right here, and this is the underexposed image for sky and highlights right here in the Harachani castle and buildings. I used NYX HDRFX Pro version 2, the new one. I was trying it, playing with it a little bit. I might do a review on it a little bit later, but here is the final image. I will try to make it a little bit bigger and turn off the lights or make it at least dim, and it looks a lot like artistic. To be honest, this part looks nice. This looks nice. It looks normal, and now it starts to look a little bit funky if you are watching it in like this fits in view. If you will zoom in, yeah, not bad. Just the bridge looks a little bit different, but in general, to me looks a little bit funky, even with these locks in front, and especially this part. Here you can see really that artistic type of HDR. But I don't want this in this image. It really doesn't feel great, and I was like, hey, still I need to process it, so let's give it a try. Let's go to Photoshop. I went to Photoshop, open it as a smart object, so if I wanted to change anything, I could just double tap this and Adobe Camera should run out. The computer is a little bit slower because I'm recording the video, so it will take some time, but Camera Raw pops out. You can see I made some changes, and it looked really bad with the saturation. It was like super funky, and all the colors were off. Let's see, just cancel. But the thing I did, I created a copy of the same layer that I adjusted in as a smart object, rasterized it so I can use brushes on it and this kind of stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, I could maybe pull out some details and do this kind of stuff, so I went into Filter, NYX, and NYX Color Effects Pro 4. Amazing plugin. If you haven't tried it, go for it. It will change your world. Really. I don't know what the plugin is doing, but it makes your images look a lot cooler. And just pop this off, add another filter. I went into like, where is it? Detail extractor, and it extracted the details, and it looks really more funky to me. Over sharpened, and the details aren't right, and it just doesn't feel right. Okay, so this is the original image, but I applied one of my favorite effects, Glamour Glow. I'm doing it a lot on HDR, and I found out that if you will apply this effect on HDR image, a lot of times it makes it look more natural, because a lot of times you can see the details in the image, but you just aren't feeling it right. If you haven't been to Prague, this is Charles Bridge, one of the iconic monuments in Prague, and just check out the details. This is without it, this is with it. Without it, you can see everything, but it looks bad. but with the glamour glow, it looks really a lot more natural to my eye. If I will zoom in and go without and with, without and with, you can see that the details in there is still kept, just it looks different, more natural. So if you're having that issue where when your HDR isn't looking right, try this filter. You can go over to this website and download a trial if you don't have it. If you have the plugin already, give it a try, maybe it will help. I just adjusted the glow to 60, played with saturation and played also with warmth. I added warmth to the picture and played with shadows and highlights. Control points are nice, but I don't use it too much, because I can then do selective adjustments in Photoshop, and sometimes it gives me good results, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes I go with control points. But anyway, I clicked OK, but because I already have the layer, I won't. And this is the nick. So you can see a dramatic difference if I will zoom, fill the screen. So this is before, this is after, again, before and after. The picture here is really blue. Here you can see the dramatic difference, and it's really blue. Sunrise is warm, it's a little bit orange with a little bit purple, so I added those colors, played with it, and you can see huge improvements. If I will just keep it at 50%. So before and after, before and after, really makes it look more realistic. But check out this. This isn't finished HDR, but because I used leading lines, first line, second line, and this is basically the main subject. This up here and Prague's castle. The problem is this church is a little bit bright, and this is a little bit bright too, of course, these buildings and the trees. This one looks oversaturated. So what I did, I used dodging and burning to bring back those details. But if you will burn the image, it will make colors more saturated. Of course, not just that, when I zoom in to 100%, there is a little bit of green tint on these buildings, so I changed it. I played with color balance, moved it away from yellow to blue, and put in a little bit magenta because it looked greenish, and this mimics more the natural light during sunrise, which is cool. Then, of course, these trees oversaturated a little bit, so I play with saturation. Just a slight difference, just a slight adjustment, but it can make a big difference in the general scene. And then I played with curves to bring this back, some details, and to not draw attention to trees and this kind of stuff. So basically it's almost everything I did. Here is before and here's after. Really huge difference. Again, before and after. I applied some sharpening. I saved it. I applied some sharpening in Lightroom and edit two things. I edit a vignette around the edges using the effect. You can see minus 12 vignettes. You can play also with midpoint, but I didn't want it. But what I added was a gradient from bottom up here, just to draw attention to this part of image, basically to Prague's castle and Hradčany. Again, nice HDR, but the basic idea was the glamour glow filter. Really, if you're having some funky results with your HDR, try it. it may help because it will keep the details, but it will make it look a little bit softer. You can play with warmth and it can work out really nicely. Okay, so that's all from me. Hope you like it, and here's the final image. See you later.